So for this video, we're going to work on finding that angle theta that we see there. And before we get to that, so I want to really quickly talk about what's going on here in this drawing. So we have three horizontal lines, and we have this one straight line over here that cuts through it. That's known as a transversal. And we have a secondary line that also cuts through two of these lines and creates this situation here. Now, the one thing that I want to pay attention to, so just let's go back and just focus on one line that's cutting through these three here. And let's take a look at one of these situations here. I'm going to pay attention to these two angles that we have on the inside here. There is a rule for angles that says that if these three horizontal lines are parallel, and we have this line that cuts through all three of them, on any one of these sets of parallel lines, if we look at the inside, like just this space right over here, okay, the two angles on the inside here, so the bottom one, the bottom left essentially here, and this top left one right over here, those two angles should equal 180 degrees. Same thing on the right side over here. This angle and this angle over here should equal 180 degrees. So should these angles down here, and so on and so forth like that. All right, the two angles on the inside there should together be 180 degrees. So if we go back to our drawing, we're going to take a look at these two parallel lines and then this line right here that cuts through. What I'm going to specifically look at is these two angles right over here, the 110 and then this one right over here. Well, these two angles should be 180 degrees together. And since this top one here is 110, that means this one has to be 70 degrees in order for those two to add up to 180. Now, if that one is indeed 70 degrees, what I can do next here then is I'm going to use this straight line here. Definition of a straight line, a straight angle, says if I were to make an angle like this, that every angle within here would equal 180 degrees. So I'm going to take this as my line, and the angle I'm looking at is this one here. All right, so from this side over here, all the way around should be 180 degrees. So that means that angle 35 that we have inside there, plus that angle of 70 that we just found out, plus this missing angle over here, let's just call it angle A. All three of these should equal 180 degrees. All right, so if we take 180 and we subtract 70 and we subtract 35, it should give us what that little angle is, which would be 75 degrees, right? If we do 180 minus that, angle A is 75 degrees. So that would be 75 degrees right inside here. So then we can use the same rule saying that these two angles here on the inside should equal 180 degrees. And since we know that one of them is 75, that 75 plus theta should equal 180. Okay, so if we do 180 and we subtract that 75, that means theta has to be 105 degrees.